Hi everyone. I thought I'd share a little bit about the evolution of humankind. So let me think, when did it all start? It all started 2004. It all started with me, that my consciousness opened up and that I realized that I was changing, that I was reconnecting to senses and gifts that I didn't have maybe time for, and B, that wouldn't have been acknowledged at the time in the environment I grew up. And and it took me a long time, since 2004, to open up to those gifts and to those abilities that I perceive as our human birthright. But I would say, having seen many clients and met many people in my life, that those gifts hadn't been nourished, and because in the general consciousness, that there was like no it was like being pushed away or smiled at, or so not something that people could connect to in their environment. And so many of us have been through a very rocky journey in their lives. The ones that had the inner battle going on. The inner battle being, do I listen to my gifts, or do I just comply with society, with family rules and so on? And this inner battle is very real and causes a lot of pain within ourselves. So I would have been through a very rocky road myself. Therefore, I could then hold space for other ones who were just opening up to their gifts and who were realizing that life is not just as I thought it would be, that there are deeper layers within us, consciousnesses, awarenesses, that want to be seen and heard at this time. This is a very profound journey of humankind. It is the evolution of humankind, which wants to make a leap right now. So I could sense that the first time was when was that? Maybe 2010 or whatever, when I just couldn't hold it back anymore and I had to speak up. And then I spoke up in front of my family, and was looked at as if I was from Mars when I was sharing about this and sharing about how every human being has got this profound responsibility right now at this time to live their life with awareness, taking responsibility for their thoughts, for their beliefs. That whenever there would have been wording like, it's all too late now anyway, and look at the environment, and it's all too late now, and people will never change, and that is just humans for you, and they are going to run themselves into disaster. And I could always sense that these words have immense power, and that we are creating our world with our words and our thoughts and our beliefs. So now something is happening where more and more people are waking up to this universal truth. And this is also something. There is this thing going on in matters of what's truth. Oh, everybody's got their own truth and so on. And that is a very dangerous place to be in. Because if everybody could just make up their own truth, then nobody would have to take responsibility for their mistakes or for whenever they are not acting, speaking, thinking, believing even, for the highest best of all that is. And that is the universal, that is part of the universal truths that that our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, our actions have immense power and are creating the world we see. So now we are, of course, conditioned in a completely different way. And as if we were delivered to whatever's happening out there. And I have been saying for a long time, it is not out there, it's in here. It's within us. We are fighting this battle at this time within ourselves. And I see this with my clients. They come when it's unbearable. So my clients would come when it's unbearable, this battle that is happening inside, where they realize there is my life, or, you know, my truths or perceptions versus a universal truth that wants to come forth, that wants to create through us. And and one crucial thing in this whole process, where we are at now as humans, is mistakes. I have had conversations with many people who would say, "Oh, there's no such thing as mistakes. You know, in the end, it's all orchestrated by the universe, and there's no such thing as mistakes." And for me, that's just like that. It's like bypassing. We all have acted in a way in our life that hasn't been for the highest best of all. We all have done it. We grew up with it, so that was normal. And there are people and situations where we were really off. And if we feel inside our heart, those situations haven't just vanished anywhere. No, time is not a healer. It doesn't work like that. As long as you're alive here on earth at this time, you carry all those memories within you. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm just forgiven," and move on if those people are maybe still hurt or those situations haven't been rectified. It is our responsibility. There are those two words right now in humanity that are so important, and a lot of people go like, "Wow," they can't hear those words. And those few words are not like, it's not just two. One is change. So if somebody really wants to stay in their paradigm and wants to be in the right all the time and blah, 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 they don't like change. You know, if you don't want your cage to be rattled, then you don't like change. And then there is accountability and responsibility. Those two words, they are red flags for a lot of people. So you have to ask yourself, why? Why would they be red flags for so many people? And that would mean we would have to admit to ourselves, first of all, we have made mistakes. We have made mistakes. Let's get over it. Let's be humble and acknowledge that it is part of the sacred human journey to act, create, and then see that some of our creations, some of our actions weren't for the highest best of all. And then to rectify, to acknowledge, to speak it, to apologize, take responsibility, rectify as much as we can. And if we can't do it alone, to ask humbly, can you please help me in putting this right? I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I created this mess, and please help me to put it right again. And if there's anything that I can do for you to heal what I've caused within you, then please tell me, and tell me how we can rectify. Sorry, I've got a hair in my mouth. How we can rectify this. And this is of such importance at these times right now. It is of such importance. And I would like you to just for a moment imagine, how, where in your life, just imagine for a moment, how would it be if everybody who has made mistakes, who has hurt somebody in a way that really wasn't necessary, and then there's this embarrassment and this shame, and this shame and guilt, if everyone would share their shame and guilt. For that, of course, there needs to be this space that we are holding, deeply holding space for each other, so that we know it's safe to speak our vulnerability, to speak our shame, to speak our guilt. We need to feel safe in order to do this. So just imagine for a moment how this feels like if everybody did that in your life. Everybody who's ever hurt you did that in your life. And then, that's a more, like a step for you. You to be the one. Where do you feel shame? Where do you feel still guilt? And imagine how you're speaking this to the person you've hurt. Imagine it. Imagine them receiving it. Receiving your apology. Your sacred apology. It's sacred when we do this now. Let's see it as a sacred act within our evolution that will change the whole paradigm, our whole world. So, them receiving our apology and forgiving. And the Hawaiian prayer, the Ho'oponoponos, can be really helpful for this as well. But the main thing is really that you feel this in your body. Feel this in your cells. And so imagine that in your life, that happening in your life. And then imagine this also happening in the outer world, in politics, in whatever is happening in the world. We are creating those messes in our personal lives. Of course, in the outside world, they look much bigger, those messes. Much more destruction. It is a mirror, though, of what's happening within us. So the first and uttermost thing is that we clear out in our hearts, that we bring peace into our hearts and minds. So acknowledging the mistakes we've made, taking responsibility, apologizing, and then, very importantly, offering whatever is needed to bring peace to the other person or whomever we have hurt at the time, to rectify if we can, and if we can't do it alone, to ask, please, can you help me? Let's do this together. This is what is ultimately asked of humankind. That we do it together in the end. We have to clear up this whole mess that we've created together. And it is not just those few people who have created the mess. It's all of us, whatever we've done also in our personal lives and in our little worlds. It's all part of it. So the practice, let us practice. Apologizing, receiving apology, creating safe space for other people apologizing in our lives, and visualize it. The most powerful prayer is visualization and feeling. Without the feeling, we are not creating the receptors that are actually creating this new paradigm, the new way of being and the new way of living. We need to create receptors for it to come into our lives, So to create those receptors, we have to install the feeling first. So visualize and feel how this feels like. This co-creation of deep peace within ourselves and within our lives. And then there is another thing. I thought I just do it in one video instead of splitting it up. And please share if this resonates. The other thing I wanted to talk about is giving. And I said that in a little video before, that something has happened where people have been more interested in creating boundaries. And this is understandable. I mean, after having had loads of clients, I deeply understand that we have compromised our integrity in childhood to please the ones that were caring for us. So if we were asked to do something, if we felt if we do it, then we will be loved, and then they will like us more. So we would have compromised a lot in our lives, in our childhood, in order to please our carers. So where have we overstepped our boundaries then in order to be liked, in order to be loved, in order to be cared for, in order to be the good girl, the good boy? Or where have we counteracted, to get attention? Where were we, like tantrums or constantly naughty, being the troublemaker in order to get attention? And then, the overstepping of boundaries in childhood creates something where we as adults are still playing out that wound unless it's healed. Where we are now that we are creating our world, where we are sometimes over setting boundaries. So where we are pushing people away by saying no, and by saying I don't really want to be hugged right now, which is great. I mean, it's really good. It's a good process to learn and to go through it. Don't stand too close to me. I have to set my boundaries. Don't come too close. I have to be the one deciding who's coming into my field. And this if it's a process that we go through, that's great. Feel at this time if it is affecting your giving. You are giving your gifts freely from the heart. To give nature, to give the people around you, your children, if it's affecting your giving, energy of giving, your gifts and who you are, who you really are, if that's affecting you and you feel, yeah, kind of caged in a little bit into those boundaries that you are not free, then also, again, it is the time. Heal that inner child. Heal her, heal him. Be their adult and say, oh, we are looking after you. You don't worry. Nobody is going to overstep your boundaries. But in order to connect, let's give. Give to people we want to give to from all our heart. Let's learn how to give again, because we've pulled back. We've pulled back our energy to be safe. And we've put all those boundaries and all those fences around us. And now I've got you. But for that, we have to really heal that wound, really see it, acknowledge it, and heal it. I've got you now. And let us open up in a way that feels good, of course, but practice it. Practice giving. When we all give our gifts at these times from our heart, and that can be anything. That can be a caring, loving smile, helping an old lady with her shopping to carry it, whatever. Giving. This is our nature. This is our nature. Giving the ones in our environment. Nature itself. The birds, feeding them in winter when they are hungry, whatever. Caring for an animal that has had a rotten life. And also your spiritual gifts. And your gifts that you have been nourishing in your life. Also the new gifts that are about to come now, that are knocking on the door, I want to be expressed through you. Let them. And then give. Yeah, because I can in my work and looking also in spiritual communities and circles, I feel it's time. It's time to stop bypassing our wounds so we are free to give love. We are love. Our essence is love. We come from the place of love. It wants to express through us. The moment we stop love to be expressed through us, through whatever way you can, through art, through music, song, through touch, allow the love to be expressed through you, and allow also others to give to you. So receive the love, because that is equally a block. If we don't allow ourselves to receive love, again, we are blocking the flow of love. So, giving and receiving. Our essence really wants to be liberated at these times. It wants to be liberated to do what it's here for. And let us all support each other in this process. It is a sacred process, a sacred journey of humankind. And I do realize, and I'm so grateful, that there are many people out there right now who are undergoing this sacred journey in their own being and in their own lives. Through that, it will naturally flow through all relationships on this earth and all the systems and whatever. There will be big change for the good. We are all asked though to do it. We are the ones doing it. Nobody is doing it for us. Every single one of us. So I'm sending you so much love from Mallorca, and let us support each other. Namaste. The divine within me sees the divine within you. And it's coming through us. Much love.